Alright, today in this video we're going to be covering the factors that will either increase or decrease demand. Alright, I rent. So this is our supply curve. This is how we demonstrate supply and demand. We have our price, quantity. This line right here represents our supply. This line right here is going to be our demand. Anytime the demand for a product decreases, we're going to see a change in the graph that looks like this. We're going to draw our new line right here, and our quantity demanded is going to decrease as well as the price for the good. Now if the demand for the product increases, we're going to see a shift that looks like this. We're going to draw a new line right here, and we're going to notice that our quantity is going to increase as well as the price. There are a couple of variables that will cause the demand curve to either increase or decrease. Now an acronym to remember all these is I rent. Let's get started. Let's talk about the first one, income. Alright, there are two different aspects of income in relation to the demand curve. The first is going to be normal goods. Now normal goods are like the top dollar items like the Ferraris, Lamborghinis, steak, things like that. Things you're only going to buy if you have more money. So as your income goes up, so is the demand for a normal good like steak, Ferrari, a mansion, things like that. So the demand curve is going to shift this way, which means the quantity is going to increase, as is the price. That is for normal goods when income goes up. Let's look at the market for normal goods when the income goes down. Since, if you're only making minimum wage, you're not going to go out and buy a mansion. As the income goes down, so is the demand curve. It's going to shift this way, which means quantity and price are both going to decrease. Alright, let's talk about inferior goods. Now the important thing about inferior goods is the demand for them is going to go up when income decreases. So the poorer you are, the more you're going to want to buy an inferior good. So let's say you just lost your job and you're not making as much as you used to. That means your demand for an inferior good like top ramen is going to go up. Demand is going to shift right here. Quantity is going to go up and price is going to increase as well. Okay, important thing to know about inferior goods is that the demand for them is going to go down the more money you have. So Bill Gates has billions and billions of dollars, right? He's not going to be going out to Costco and buying this cheap top ramen. Let's say you're Bill Gates and have billions of dollars. The demand for inferior goods is going to go down, which means the quantity is going to decrease, as is the price. Alright, we covered income. Let's talk about the second reason the demand curve will shift, related goods. Let's talk about related goods and how this affects the demand curve. More specifically, substitutes, alright? Now Pepsi and Coke are substitutes since they're a really similar product. Let's say that the price of Coke goes way up. That means people aren't going to want to buy it as much. So the demand for Pepsi, its substitute, is going to increase, which means the quantity of that is going to increase as well as the price, all because Coke decided to jack up its prices. Alright, similar concept. Let's say Coke decides to lower their prices. That means people are going to want to buy Coke and not Pepsi anymore. So the demand for Pepsi is going to decrease, which is going to cause a decrease in quantity and a decrease in price. Alright, another important aspect of related goods that's going to affect the demand curve, complements. Now this is one thing where you can't have one thing without the other, like milk and cereal. You got to have them together. Now let's say the demand for cereal is going to increase. Now because they're complements, the exact same thing is going to happen to milk. Demand for cereal increases, so does the demand for milk. We see a shift like that. Quantity is going to increase, as is the price. Alright, let's say they find out that all the grain in America is infected, so the demand for cereal is going to go way down. Since they're complements, the same thing is going to happen to milk. We're going to see a shift right here, and the demand is going to decrease, which means quantity goes down, price goes down. Moving on to the third factor that shifts the demand curve, expectations on future prices. Alright, the thing about Econ is that we kind of determine the own prices because a lot of it is just in our head. So the expectations of future prices is actually going to affect the demand curve. Now, let's say that you think in like a week from now, the price of a product is going to go up. That means you want to buy it now when it's cheaper. So the demand curve is going to shift this direction. We're going to see an increase in quantity purchased as well as the price of the product is going to go up. Now, let's say I'm looking to buy a Ferrari, okay, and I hear that the price of a Ferrari is going to be cut in half next week. That means why would I buy one today when the price is going to be double what it is a week from now? So the demand for the Ferrari today is going to decrease when we expect the future prices to be lower. So the quantity purchased is going to go down, as is the price. Number 4, number of potential customers. The next economic principle is that the number of people will shift the demand. This one's really, really simple to understand. Let's say that the number of people in the world quadruples, so there are way more people out there buying products. That means the demand for the product is going to increase. The more consumers there are, more people buying, demand increases, quantity will go up, as will price. Now, hold the phone, let's say that the number of people in the world goes down. There's a huge plague and only 50 people are left standing. That means there's going to be a lot less consumers, so the demand curve is going to shift this direction, and we're going to see our quantity decrease as well as our price.
So morbid.
Factor number 5 that's going to shift the demand curve, taste and advertising. Boom. Okay, now we're going to move on to taste and advertising, all right? Now, let's say that a famous person that everybody really likes, like Katniss Everdeen, Harry Potter, shout out to Prerana, let's say they endorse a product, okay? People are going to be like, oh, that product's awesome. I want to buy that. The demand is going to increase, all right? And the quantity is going to shift that way. Price is going to go up. Price and quantity will increase.
Awkward. Oh.
Oh, okay. Hold up. All right. Let's say, for example, that an ad comes out that says that a product is really, really bad. Like somebody releases a commercial that says like Nikes give you foot rashes. People are going to be like, oh, because I saw that commercial, I don't want to buy that product anymore. So we're going to see the demand curve go shift that way, which leads to a decrease in quantity and a decrease in price. Alright guys, so that's an overview of the economic principle of supply and demand and I-rent, the factors that will increase or decrease demand. Make sure to check out my other video covering Unite, which covers why supply will increase or decrease. Thanks for watching.
We're not making a...
Alright,